I got this Lipton in my cup. Boy, you know what's up, my dudes. MX Simulator dead game. This has been going around, okay? I wanted to make a video on this. I know there's been a couple channels out there kind of made videos on it. This whole idea of MX Simulator's like a dead game, right? Why would you even play that old game? You know, oh my God, that game's so terrible, it's so old, it's so bad, why would you even play it, right? It's so dead, you know what I mean? So, first of all, if you're one of those kind of people that are thinking those things or saying those sort of things about MX Simulator, and you know who you are, all right, most of you are MX Bikes fanboys that are trying to make it look like MX Bikes is so much better so that you can get more people into your community away from MX Simulator because you know it's direct competition, okay? But for you individuals that are actually saying that and thinking that about MX Simulator, all I can say to that is you're an absolute fool that really doesn't truly understand the motocross gaming landscape, apparently, because if you did, you would know that MX Simulator is a forever motocross game. Just how Reflex is a forever motocross game, MX Simulator is the exact same way. I hate to break it to some of y'all boys, but it is what it is. Now, don't get me wrong, I will agree that MX Simulator has basically went through its dark ages, as I like to call it, over the last 3 or 4 years. I'll admit that, right? Like, player base has dropped off some, the excitement around the game's not quite been the same, and the reason why I say that is because as soon as RF started to make, you know, the better pre-made, specifically with the 2023 outdoor pro motocross tracks and the better looking tracks, like, you know, decal wise, they had some better looking Supercross tracks in 2023. I feel like it really did revitalize this game a little bit. It's still MX Simulator at the end of the day. Like I've said before, it's never just going to completely die out. That's just not going to happen. That'd be like saying, well, you know, Reflex is just totally going to die and nobody's ever going to play it again. It's too good for that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, MX Simulator and Reflex, and I'm starting to even think MX Bikes. I think all three of those games are just too good in this motocross gaming genre to ever, like, totally be left in the dust. You know what I'm saying? Now, MX Bikes is obviously the newest of those three, so we still don't really know how MX Bikes is going to play out long term, but it is on Steam. It does have better graphics, all these different kind of things, right? It just kind of cracks me up when I will see these certain individuals that will talk about MX Simulator, you know, the game that came out in 2007, made by one guy that has never been on Steam and never had any real advertisement, okay? These certain individuals that will talk about that sort of a game like, oh, well, it's dead now, bro. Oh, you know, just because it doesn't have the same numbers that MX Bikes has, oh, yep, MX Simulator is dead, bro. Yep, bro, you know, it's just not that good anymore, bro. You just need to move on, bro. Like, dog, holy shit. I can tell you right now, I'm never going to stop playing MX Simulator. It is my favorite motocross game of all time, forever, all time. It is what it is. It's my favorite game, period. I just don't think the individuals saying that really understand how good the actual gameplay of MX Simulator really is, apparently. Because it's like, yeah, you can talk about all these other different kind of dirt bike games, but I mean, MX Simulator is just one of a kind. There's nothing else out there exactly like it, gameplay-wise. There's just not. Like, I look at MX Bikes as being more of a arcade sim hybrid style game. Of course, the fanboys don't like to hear that. I don't give a fuck, okay? Got this Lipton in my cup, boy. I don't give a fuck, boy. Okay. But anyways, It's like, I feel like Reflex has its place, MX Simulator has its place, MX Bike sort of has its place. I don't really feel like there's like a direct competitor. I mean, everybody wants to try to make it out like it's MX Bikes versus MX Sim, but you know, MX Bikes has paid custom tracks where you have to pay extra money like micro DLC. MX Simulator's tracks are free, and you have about, I don't know, 6 or 9 times the amount of content track-wise and bike skin-wise and shit on MX Simulator than you do like Reflex, for instance. So it's still right there stacking up with some of the best dirt bike games out there, even though it's made in 2007. You know, if you still have enough people to go in there and run the full pro RF racing series, the game is not totally dead. If you still have people on there on the random online servers, the game is not totally dead. But that's my point, though. Everybody wants to try to compare, like, the hyped up numbers of MX Bikes because it's on a whole different level right now. Again, like I've said, being put on Steam makes a massive difference. If MX Simulator just had the graphics of MX Bikes and it was on Steam like MX Bikes is, I promise you there would be at least triple the number of players on MX Simulator than there is. But MX Simulator has always been more of the underground kind of motocross game. It's always been like that. So it's funny when people try to act like MX Simulator is dead now. It's like, bro, you do realize the numbers have never been that big on MX Sim. It's a really difficult game, hard to get into, hard to learn. It's not on Steam, so you got to learn how to download snapshots and, you know, like individual updates, and it's just a little less user friendly than like MX Bikes and stuff like that. So it's a little harder to get into for the new player, but it's still MX Simulator at the end of the day, dog. Like, there's a reason why this game has lasted more than a decade, okay? There is a reason, bro. You know what I mean? Decade and a half now, I should say. But at the end of the day, though, it's like, you know, you could definitely say, like, some of the milestone dirt bike games are totally dead. You know, you try to get on an online lobby, there's absolutely nobody. You could say those things, especially when you consider the time frame that they came out. You know, when you're looking at, like, MX Simulator or MX Bikes or any modern style dirt bike game, for that matter, it's like MX Simulator is the oldest of all of them. So for it to even still be remotely standing, or anybody still making content on it, or anybody still making custom tracks for it, or anybody still pro racing on it, is a massive testament to how good this game really is. MX Simulator's gameplay, everybody talks about these different motocross games. Well, it's got to have good gameplay, good physics, got to have something to the gameplay. MX Simulator has that. It's got the most important thing that you got to have to a long-term motocross game. Like, yeah, MX Simulator doesn't have the most amazing graphics. Again, it was also made back when fucking Untamed came out, okay? Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have all the best camera options. Again, it came out in 2007, but it's like MX Simulator has already succeeded for what it was trying to do and never being put on Steam. It's already massively succeeded in the motocross gaming genre. It's like, don't sit here and try to shit on the absolute legend that has already shown everybody how to do it. You know, that don't really make any sense, man. And the fact that it's, you know, you don't want to look at it like, well, is MX Simulator, does it have all the exact features of like the newest dirt bike games? That's so stupid to even look at it that way. It's like, you got to look at it like, if MX Simulator's even remotely still in the conversation and it came out in 2007, that means that MX Simulator is downright amazing. It is downright on a whole nother level. A lot of the people that were super into MX Simulator, they were never even into it for the graphics. They were never even into it for all of the new fancy bells and whistles like what you have on MX bikes. That's not even the reason why they were playing MX Simulator to begin with. You know, so it's not really, that's what I'm trying to get at. Just because MX Bikes is having some decent, you know, numbers and being on Steam and stuff, it's like, that's cool and all, but like, the hardcore sim players are still gonna play sim. I mean, a lot of the dudes that were pro racing back on sim, back before MX Bikes really started popping off, are still there. They're still doing it. And I can just tell you right now, I'm still having just as much fun on MX Simulator as I've ever had before. You know, I've been playing this game for damn near 10 years now, and I could play it for another 10 years. That's just how good it is, bro. That's just how good it is, bro.